Hey guys, Todd here. Today we're going to install the Gator SRX soft rolling cover on the Ford Super Duty. The tools I'll be using for this installation are a ratchet with a 1/2 inch and 9/16 sockets and an A-style squeeze clamp. Now make sure you're subscribed to our channel to stay up to date with all the latest content. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, now before we install the rails, what we want to do is first install the seals on the ends of the rails. So when you look at the end of the rail, it's going to have a flat spot on it. You're going to find your seals in your kit. Make sure you line up the correct one with the correct shape. Peel that off. All right, and set it in place, just like so. And we're going to do that on both the front and back ends of the rails. So repeat the same process on the opposite side of the rail. This next part I'm going to do with the tailgate closed because we want to get the rail centered in between the closed tailgate and the bulkhead. Now I've got the passenger side rail. The shelf end on the side that faces the cab will have 2 oval holes on it. What we're going to do is put that up against the tailgate. This seal right here is going to be going right up against the bed cap. We're going to bring that in. Now I've got a bed rug, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel that back so that I can center this between the tailgate and the bulkhead. And once that's in place, I'm going to take a squeeze clamp or A clamp and put it up into the bed cap and hold that in place. Okay, now we've got the rail squeeze clamp attached to the bed cap. What we're going to do is go to one of our clamps that come in our kit. Now let me show you how the clamp works. What we're going to do is we're going to loosen this clamp up. And if you notice, we've got kind of an L-shaped piece that goes into one of 2 shelves. We're going to use the higher shelf on this clamp, not the lower portion. We're going to use a higher portion. So what we're going to do is pull that clamp apart and go up into the bed cap. Now, the clamp needs to kind of mate into the grooves on the rail. Once that's in place, we want to bring that clamp kind of as far forward as possible. Make sure you're not hitting any obstructions on the bottom side of the bed cap. Tighten that down by hand first. Once that's tightened by hand, make sure this stays square, and then tighten that down with a 1/2 inch wrench or ratchet. And as you're doing that, make sure that the top of the seal on the side stays right even with the top of the bed cap. We're going to go ahead and snug that down. Don't over tighten that. We're going to go down to the next clamping position, right towards the center of the rail. Now I've got my squeeze clamp or A clamp in place. I'm just going to go ahead and move that down a little bit. And I'm going to put my new clamp right in the center. Make sure there's no obstructions in the way underneath the bed cap. And do the exact same thing. Tighten it down by hand. Then your 1/2 inch wrench or ratchet. And the rear clamp. We're going to go as far back on the bed cap as we can fit it, but it's going to install the exact same way as the other 2. Again, double check, make sure your seal on the side is up at the top of the bed cap. All right, now we can go ahead and pull our A clamp down and do the same process on the opposite side. Okay, now we're over here on the passenger side up at the front, right behind the cab. And these are the 2 oval holes I was talking about earlier, except this one is actually not an oval hole, it's a rectangular hole, and that's what we're going to focus on now. So this is our tension block. The way the tension block works is this adjusts the tension of the cover because the cover will fit up against the end of this block. And so if we have this block fitting down into this location here, but then I take and I turn this block around, I can actually bring the cover back a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this on tension number 4. We're going to set it right here. And then underneath, we're going to see you've got a hole. The clip is going to go through that hole underneath the rail and hold it in place. Make sure the other tension block is set to the exact same tension. And if you need to adjust the tension after you've installed the cover, turn the block and adjust the block to set the tension. Make sure it's the same on both sides. Okay, so here is the cover as it comes out of the box. Now what you'll notice, this is our header rail. We've got a rubber seal that is going to face towards the cab of the truck. You'll also notice we've got a couple of tabs that are here. That also faces towards the cab. Keep in mind we've got a couple of straps. Those need to fall down into the truck bed. So this is going to be rotating around and then resting on top of the shelf here on the other side of our adjustment block. But what we need to do first, we need to insert our bolts that come in our kit. So what we're going to do is pull out the end cap so we can slide the bolt in and slide the end cap back in. Do that on both sides. And once those are in place, we're going to go ahead and rotate the rail over so that the bolts drop down through these oval holes. All right, now let's go underneath and attach our hardware. Okay, now here is where the bolt comes down through the rail. What we're going to do is in our kit we've got a kind of a thick plastic spacer that's going to go up onto the bolt, and then we've got a 9/16 nylock nut that's going to go on. And what we're going to do is we're going to tighten that down using a 9/16 wrench or ratchet. Now we don't want to tighten this down all the way. The key is to get it snug enough to where it holds in place, but that you can move the header rail back and forth a little bit. You don't want it to freely move just easily, but we do want it to be able to move. All right, there we go. Now we're going to repeat the same on the opposite side. There we go. Now let's go ahead and roll it back to the tailgate and check the tension on the cover. All right, it's pretty tight, so we probably want to take a little bit of the tension out. Now I've got it set to 2. There we go, that's much better.